John, how did you celebrate your birthdays at school?
Well, I've probably told you that. The answer is you don't celebrate them at school because if it comes in the term time, there's nobody there to say happy birthday to you, and some feeble boy is at breakfast saying, "It's my birthday today," and everybody piles in, and I couldn't bring myself to say that. So nobody ever wished me a happy birthday on my birthday. So consequently, I dislike birthdays intensely.
But you got cards from your parents?
Yeah, a week later, because they were in Hong Kong, you know.
How old were you? You were in a boarding school.
I went there at 9, and then all boys, so I never met any girls, Regina, which is a great failing.
Would you have liked to have had a sibling?
I would have done, but I had the next best thing with 2 girl cousins. That was and I was incredibly lucky with those 2.
Who were they?
Sheila and Gillian, you know.
My friends.
My friend Sheila. You never knew Gillian, but she was nice
What
too.
about
Say
Isabel?
that you lived with
John?
Sorry?
What about Isabel de Cordova?
That's a niece.
That's the niece of my cousin
They
Gillian.
were close to you, weren't they?
Well, yes, because their mother I was very close to their mother.
Gillian.
You know, they were surrogate sisters, and it was incredibly happy. When Sheila and I, later in life, we lived here for possibly 15 years together, and we swapped notes. Most of the time we were talking about our childhood, because when you think of it, there's nobody else to talk to, and we were both surprised to find that we did have a happy childhood, which of course nobody tells you. You've had a happy childhood. You know, what more do you want? We didn't know. We thought everybody had happy childhoods, and I now realise that's absolutely incredible. And of course, it might have been happy for me because I was the only male in 6 ladies in the house in Cheltenham, and with all the men away. So that might have been especially good. I don't know.
What year were you born?
1934.
And do you remember my brother?
No, I don't, sadly.
Because he was born in 33.
Yeah.
Has he passed away, Ben?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Did you ever receive the key of the door, John, at 21?
No, because
Who
my
remembers John?
father was away. So while my cousin Sheila was living with my father in Hong Kong, she had a fantastic, great 21st with a dance and all the rest of it. I was on my own here, and I'd gone to work as a building labourer. And my auntie Isabel had bought me a meringue. That was my 21st birthday party.
the raspberry.
Well, I didn't miss it, but I didn't know it to miss it.
Make sure Daddy's safe getting in the house, somebody. I'm just going to do a bit of tidy up because I've got to go in a minute.
What about your 21st, Ingrid?
Mine?
Did you have one in those days?
Well, I did, but my father's daughters was interesting because...
Where did you have it physically? In your house in...
No. My brother had a full-blown 21st birthday dance, at which all his friends came, and it was in the Queen's Hotel.
In
But
Cheltenham?
I was slightly ahead of him, and my father came to me and said, you might think you would like to have a 21st party, he said, but I'm telling you now that I have been investing small sums since you were born, and he said, so it matures when you're 21, and I would like you to sign on the dotted line here that you will carry on with this
Investment.
money until you're 45.
Oh,
What was the significance of
When what you want
45?
is to have it now.
Prudent.
Oh, lovely.
So I didn't have a sort of 21st dance or anything like that, but I did remember he said, what would you like to do, which was obviously a more modest thing. And I said, do you think I could have a few friends and we could go to the theatre and have a meal somewhere before. So I had a few friends over, quite a decent number, no more than 20 and probably less than that. And I always remember my oldest friend came. I'd known her from birth, and she came by herself. She had a long-term boyfriend whom she married, and she said, "Gosh," she said, "Ingrid, you do have some wonderful-looking male friends." I said, "Yes, they are, aren't they?" But they were all platonic. We went off to the theatre after having a meal somewhere, and I was very happy with that.
In Cheltenham.
Very grateful. No, I think we went out somewhere in Gloucester and then went to the Everyman, but I could be mistaken. We went to the theatre.
Okay, well, I've got another story about how Ingrid and I met, but we didn't know it. Ingrid doesn't like the story.
No, I don't like
It's
it.
partially true.
It's just one of your fictions.
No, it isn't completely. We compared notes as to who did what when, and in 1957, I went as an older 23. I went to the Bluebell Ball
Oh, yeah.
on my own, or maybe with another lady who we went our ways there, and I've compared notes, and Ingrid went to the Bluebell Ball in the same year, 1957, and my diary entry for that time, I wish it said, I danced with the most ravishingly beautiful girl I've ever seen. From
untrue, he doesn't have such.
but it didn't say that, but I do remember going into the Paul Jones and dancing with lots of very young girls. Could actually say the girls are so young. So Ingrid was there. So there's a jolly good chance I did dance with her. Because I was very naughty. I never waited till the girl came round. I spotted one. I abandoned the male and went round and followed the girl out, and just at the moment barged in to dance with her.
Oh, you don't remember that, Ingrid,
I didn't dance with John.
but you remember the occasion.
You wouldn't
Would you remember
remember.
him, you think?
I think so, because I've seen photos of him when he was younger, and yes, I would. But I'm quite
No, you
sure
wouldn't.
he-
This
I didn't
stranger
end up
picked you up
dancing
in his arms
He likes it.
and whirled you around, and you were smitten from that day onwards.
That's right, everyone was smitten immediately, John.
John, do you remember when you first had your first car? And
My
was
first car,
yes, a car, and was it a gift to you, or did you?
my father sent some money to me in Africa when I was probably about 27, so I didn't have a vehicle. I had a government vehicle, and £300, and I bought a second-hand Beetle Volkswagen, and I was very grateful for that.
For how long? For how many years did it last?
I had it for 10 years.
They were good, they didn't need water in their
Shall I bring some?
cooler.
Cool, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Then I bought a second new Volkswagen, and I flew to Frankfurt to pick it up. Don't quite know why. That's where I thought they were made. I don't think they are made in Frankfurt.
The uneven grass here.
Near there.
Something to take through. It's all right, I'll leave the crisps, you never know.
To the good old days,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, good old days. And I think that's where I first encountered a duvet, because we stayed in a German B&B.
Yes.
Don't know how there, and it was summertime, and there was a very thick duvet, and I remember being very hot. Of course, I didn't know what I was sleeping under.
Did you just have blankets before that, or?
I don't know. I mean, it's just Oh yes, what we had before that was called forgotten.
A Whitney blanket?
No, we had
Was
we
it,
had a thing with feathers.
An eiderdown?
was
We
it,
had an eiderdown.
yeah.
That was the
The down of an eider. What's an eider?
a duck.
Duck.
Oh,
Special duck with good down. Yeah.
why is a duck known as an eider?
These
An eider
feather
duck,
beds,
yeah.
I remember them. the feathers always fell to one side.
Yes, you had to beat them up, didn't
Yeah, and whatever you were holding on to was just the cover. The feathers always went somewhere.
you? Well, you're quite right. Yeah, that's right.
So you were lacking a cushion or something under you.
Yeah, and then someone had the brilliant idea to put,
Put them in.
I don't know, what is it called?
Right, yes.
Yeah,
Sew it.
lattices.
Pockets.
Yeah,
Pockets.
so they stayed at least
Oh,
in
yes.
compartments.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was much later.
Oh, yeah.
I can remember when
Is this
that
yours?
was my hat. I don't know where we would be sitting. And
No.
You're making a move now, Ben.
Time we went, isn't it?
Take a doggy bag, won't you? Take something home with you. Plenty there.
Do you want me to get
And
you a
Marion.
cake or something?
How did you meet John?
John said earlier, I had a brother who's passed away now, who used to live in John's parents' bungalow
Oh,
across the field. It was a field at the time.
yeah.
And I was there visiting my brother when John arrived. This is my memory. And we got talking about odd jobs, DIY, etc. And for some reason I said, yes, I'll help you, John, and build a fence. I don't know how I got to say that, but anyway, I did.
You never regretted it.
Well, it's ever since then that I've known John.
Yeah. So when did your baking skills get discovered?
Well, more or less, I started doing Sunday afternoon concerts at home, soirees,
Oh,
piano
where were you
and
living
cello
then?
in Clarence Square.
Oh, yes, you said.
And I would have 10, 15 people come, maybe up to 20, preparing sandwiches and cakes for them.
Oh, you've had years of practice.
So I've had a good getting on 20, yes.
Was a quilted blanket,
Amazing.
which had sometimes
And just, yes, so
Well, you're an absolute treasure.
when there are occasions like this, I'm happy to.
Yeah, I say you're an absolute treasure.
Oh, Marion.
Just doing those wonderful.
Yes, he's an absolute treasure.
But John knows I'm very adaptable.
No, well, he,
I hardly ever say no to
well,
anything.
well,
more
what
comfortable because
Peter
then it's
particularly likes is like
it's scratchy.
he likes genteel
So it was
tea
like a bit
parties with
a cover like this.
Cup and saucer.
middle-aged to elderly ladies, particularly Dozy and Sheila
Yes.
and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
we've had quite a lot of those in the past. I
Yes.
can't remember whether you ever went down to Dozy's house to tea. Well, you lived there.
Occasionally, yes. Yes, I would take Desmond.
And
I like the tradition of afternoon tea.
Yeah,
Everything stops
yeah.
at 4 o'clock or 4:45. It was something the Queen liked too.
But it does tend to, if you overindulge, it tends to spoil your appetite for dinner at 7.
That's true, so we wouldn't want afternoon tea too often.
No.
But yes, that is true. But the preparation, to do something nicely, the care,
Yes,
the
yes,
attention you're giving to it.
yes. I'll just go and say goodbye to Benedict.
And then there's the
is
Japanese.
he off?
I think
Yes.
Benedict is off now.
There's a shortcut. There's a shortcut out that way.